Hi there, Sarah. Welcome to the show. So what do you think of the government now clarifying that there won't be this TDM or text and data mining exemption when it comes to our copyright laws? How important is that?
Well, Leigh, good afternoon. It's very important, and at last we have seen some movement on this issue. I participated in a Senate inquiry into this issue and was horrified about the impact that this would have on Australian creatives, on publishers, on writers, on authors, on artists, on playwrights, right across our creative sector. The threat of a text and data mining exemption under the Copyright Act effectively legalised the theft of the work of creatives. It was disgraceful. But let's not forget, Leigh, this was a government commission report. The Productivity Commission, in an interim report commissioned by Treasurer Jim Chalmers, said, look, the horse has bolted, there's nothing we can do. And the creative industries very rightly were up in arms. The Coalition was up in arms, the Greens were up in arms. We were not going to cop it. And I am very pleased at last, after many weeks of uncertainty and concern by the creative sector, that the government has announced this confirmation.
But wasn't that also, that initiative was also because of tech giants, Australian tech giants executives saying that this would unlock a lot of investment, foreign investment into Australia for mining and training models?
Well, there was nothing to substantiate that. And what was really concerning about this proposal, and I have to say, a bit concerned that maybe an underhand deal was being done at one stage between the government and the tech giants. There was some evidence of that, but there was no modelling to support that. But the big tech companies were very happy to basically steal the work of Australian creatives and not pay them for it. There is a very sophisticated licensing scheme under our laws in this country. If any big tech company wants to use the work of any artist or writer or musician, they can pay for it. That's the bottom line. And they were effectively trying to see a change in the law, which would mean that they could basically steal it. So we really raised a very big red flag. We had some compelling evidence in our inquiry, including from some very prominent musicians and authors, and I'm very, very pleased, Leigh, to see common sense prevail.
But this sort of exemption exists in countries like the UK and EU?
Well, I'm not sure that it does in the way that the Productivity Commission tried to characterise this, but we've got very good copyright laws in this country. Our creative industries are vitally important for our whole country, for our culture. And frankly, there was absolutely no basis for any change in the law which would allow their work to be effectively stolen by big tech companies. So, as I say, I am very pleased to see common sense prevail.
Now, Senator Henderson, you've been a very vocal advocate for the Senate inquiry into the Optus outage, the terrible incidents. So what specific outcomes are you expecting, and what changes need to be made so that we don't have repeats of such tragedies?
Well, Leigh, of course, on the 18th of September, a number of people died after a catastrophic Optus triple-0 outage. And since then, we have seen the government and the regulator and Optus ducking and weaving. The minister could not even tell the truth about when her office first knew about this outage. So this Senate inquiry is very important. I proposed it. The vote will be tomorrow. I'm very pleased that the Greens are also co-sponsoring the motion. And we want to get to the bottom line as to what happened. We want the truth. And as part of the truth, Leigh, we want to ensure that the minister also appears before this inquiry. She can no longer run and hide. There's very strong precedent when ministers from the House of Representatives have agreed to appear before Senate inquiries. We cannot compel the minister to appear, but it is incumbent on her to appear in the national interest, because this is a critical service. A number of people died This was a catastrophic outcome, and we need to make sure that this never happens again. And for the Minister, Lay, to ask her own regulator to conduct an inquiry when the regulator is so implicated. The regulator's made a number of mistakes, including being part of putting new enhanced rules in place to improve the 000 service, but giving telco carriers 6 months to put the rules in place. They don't come into effect until the 1st of November. I mean, that is just one monumental failing. So I think the Senate inquiry will do a great deal to uncover the truth in the best interests of all Australians.
Thanks so much for your time. Liberal Senator Sarah Henderson.